The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's so much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, bye.
It's a wrap. Game over.
I don't know. Game's just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and it is the day after the weekend. I wish we had a 3-day weekend where today I could just talk about NBA basketball. And, man, I tell you what, the NBA is winning right now. I shouldn't say that too much because my next guest represents the biggest of the major sports, and that is Mr. Crawford, Mickey McGill. We'll just call you Mickey if that's okay. And he is a financial advisor, or NFL Players Association financial advisor. Did I get it right?
Close enough.
Okay. Why don't you tell everybody what it is so I don't get it wrong, Mickey?
No problem. It's NFLPA registered player financial advisor.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. And that's really important because let me tell you something. When I talked with Brigitte about bringing you on, about having you on, I said, oh, he'll be great because most of our listeners and the fans don't understand the financial dynamics of players and their money. They literally think that these players get a bankload of money and then they blow it on parties and houses and cars and jewelry and da-da-da-da-da. And the reality is they have financial advisors who hopefully they listen to and can make wise decisions. So talk about how you came into being and how you got this amazing opportunity with the NFL Players Association.
Sure, no problem. So really started being a financial advisor about 18 years ago and didn't really focus any of my practice around sports and entertainment. It was roughly about 3 years ago when the Super Bowl came to Houston where I decided to really start making a push to working with NFL players. I watched the broadcast 30 for 30 broke on ESPN. So that was, again, kind of a deep dive into player assets and their investments and how they spend their money. So after I saw that, I was like, you know what? These guys need a lot of help. There's a lot of unscrupulous people that are in the industry.
Who they trust. Yep.
And who they trust, exactly. And so the NFLPA actually has a program that was brought about by the players themselves to actually make sure and help mitigate some of that risk. So we have a background check. There's it's an extensive background check. It takes about 6 or 7 months to complete, but it's one of those things that at least the players know that someone has been vetted and they don't have an issue with compliance and things of that nature. So for me, that was my main thing. How can I help more people? I've been a mentor for about 15 years. I teach etiquette and hygiene to high school students at my church. So that was one of my passions. So taking my passion for mentoring and taking my passion around finance put me into a place for working with players through the NFLPA.
Mickey, I'm real close to the senior pastor of Cullen Missionary Baptist Church, where I'm a member, and I just happen to be the senior pastor there. So go ahead and shout out to your church.
Most definitely, Windsor Village, United Methodist Church. So we've been doing rites of passage for the last 15 years.
All right. Believe it or not, when I first came to Houston from Cincinnati, Ohio, I was a member of Windsor Village United Methodist Church. Joe and Yolande Palmore were there then, along with John and others, and Thaddeus Eastland and good folks like that. So, hey man, good to be connected. So, did the NFLPA approach you, or did you approach them about being a part of their program?
Most definitely, I approached them. So it's a smaller known program. There's only about 150 NFLPA registered player financial advisors across the nation. So it's a very small group. And one of the things you have to be is a CFP or CFA in order to actually get into the organization now for new members. They're letting existing members, they have to get registered within the next 3 years in order to continue to be in the program. But it's mainly just a place that players can go and say, you know what, I'm looking for a financial advisor. This is where I can go check it out. Most of the times players don't do that though. It's really on the advisor to make sure to go out and recruit and meet up with their own players. That's really important.
Yeah, you answered my next question already. Do the players come to you then, or then do you go to the players? And now knowing that you've got to get out there and recruit them, how do you go about letting the players know that you're there for them and you'd like to be able to be their advisor?
Yeah, that's the hardest part, right? A lot of players have a cocoon around them, a group of people that, make sure that the players aren't taken advantage of. So it's a really difficult thing to really get in there to get a good understanding of who that kind of person is that makes the decision. Is it the player themselves? Is it a parent? Is it a friend? So a lot of times I start, college students, right, coming out of college. It's a little bit easier of a path because they don't necessarily have their team set up. So if you're able to get in there before they get their team set up, it makes it a lot easier to be there going through the rest of their career. But once you get in, I've started having referrals from other players, right? My guy's really good. You need to talk to him. Yep. That's been a really good aspect too.
I got you. So now you talked about we've got Mickey McGill. He is I'm gonna get it right before the end.
Right.
He is an NFL Players Association registered player financial advisor, and joining us here on the lunch break for our Media Monday. You talked about getting guys coming out of college into the league. Is it doable to get them any sooner? Because obviously, some of them know that I'm probably going to be coming into some real good money once I get into the league. What's the line of where you can and can't go?
So there's definitely some issues with providing free service to players before they come out of college, or making promises or guarantees. So that's definitely something that we don't cross the line. But a lot of times, I actually have clients that have kids that play football, right? And so one of my, top picks that happened this past year was a son of one of my clients. So those things are starting to change too, along with, in 2021, 2022, schools are going to allow players to actually make money off their likenesses. And that's where a financial advisor is going to come and have a larger play in, because if you're able to get, 50,000 or 100,000 as a college student, you're definitely going to need to have some help and advisement on what makes the most sense and how to spend it and where to put it.
That's exactly where I was going, because the landscape has changed. You've got, players finally, watch this, allowed image and likeness for their own benefit. Imagine that. Well, we are rolling, man. So again, the Armageddon is where people think that, all of a sudden now these kids are going to be attacked by all these vultures and what have you. And obviously they're going to need some financial guidance. And I'm wondering if the NCAA don't get me started on that group,
Sure.
going to allow someone like yourself, who's been vetted by the NFLPA and what have you, allow them to move further down into the college ranks?
Yeah, that hasn't happened as of yet, but I assume that should make some headway. The first thing that they want to do is make sure that the agents are taken care of. So now they're looking at setting up a separate collegiate agent exam that you need to do or get registered with in order to work with students before they come out. So there are going to be some regulations that come out. We just have to wait and see. But anyone can hire a financial advisor. Even a current student right now can hire a financial advisor. The problem is that you have to charge the same fee you would anybody else. So if you're charging $1,000 for financial planning, you got to do the same for that student. You can't do a quid pro quo either.
Right.
So yeah, that's the important part.
And then the other question I have for you, Mick, you got to get ready to take a break. Once you get a player, do you get the entire family? Because you mentioned the son of a player who's in the league now, but what about parents, fathers who want their kids to be set up, from the beginning? Imagine if we got some of this financial guidance and education early in life, where we're really guiding our young people and they're starting to understand some financial literacy and things like that. Are you able to provide those services for the whole family?
Yes, most definitely. I mean, right now, actually, I do a lot of educational talks with college students and middle schoolers, high schoolers. I do a lot of that too. So, my main thing that I love the most is about educating. And the more people know, the better we do. So if we have a better understanding, and a lot of times what ends up happening is they think a financial advisor is only for the wealthy. Yeah. Well, when you don't have a lot of money, sometimes that's even more important. So again, it's educating people. So I do educate parents, and I have siblings that are now clients of my players, and girlfriends, things of that nature. All of them, end up coming aboard because it's really about the whole family. A lot of times where people lose a lot of their money as a player is because of their family and friends. It's not being lavish. It's just trying to take care of the whole community. And sometimes you just can't do that.
Absolutely. I love that statement. We're going to pick up there when we come back. Sure. We've got Mickey McGill joining us. He is a registered financial advisor with the NFL Players Association for players, and really, really glad to have him on the show. You know me, I like to bring real good educational stuff, and this is good stuff right here. We'll be right back with Mickey right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. If you've got questions, why don't you go ahead and drop them here on Facebook Live, or you can text me 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Or you can call me 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. It's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
We all know Election Day is just around the corner. We want change. We need change. We can be the change. Exercise your right for change on Election Day. Don't talk about it. Let's be about it. So let's roll to the poll in record numbers, and we can make that change. This message is approved by KYOK 1140 AM, 92.3 FM, and KYOKradio.org.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac,
no problem.
Equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Tell you how you can get real health insurance for as little as $6 a day.
Yes, now you can get affordable health insurance for you and your family immediately, starting at just $6 a day. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. That's right, for about $6 a day, you can have guaranteed health insurance. And there's dental, vision, and prescription coverage too. You owe it to yourself and your family to make this free call right now and learn more. There are no deductibles, no waiting period, no contracts, and coverage is guaranteed. Call National Health right now for your risk-free, guaranteed health insurance quote, starting at just $6 a day. Call now. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. That's 800-797-0921. Paid for by GoHealth.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Media Monday, and got a real good guy joining me today. He's Mickey McGill. He's an NFL Players Association registered player financial advisor.
There you go. Got it.
I got it right this time. But again, he's joining us on Media Monday. And Mickey, right before the break, you talked about, the whole family. You talked about, the girlfriends and, siblings and what have you. And then you brought up the part where a lot of times these players are trying to take care of the entire family, their friends, what have you. And that can, that can cause problems quickly. Would you say that anyone who has anything to do with the player taking care of them or providing some assistance for them should be involved in some type of connection with what you're doing?
It depends. It really, really does. It depends on the player and it depends on the situation. But a lot of times what ends up happening is, again, the money that is spent is not necessarily on buying jewelry or out in the club and just, kind of blowing it. It's mom needs, money for rent on a monthly basis. It's, my sister needs help for down payment on her house. That tends to be a lot of the issue. So what I try to do is try to bring those people in and at least give some basic financial literacy to them so they understand, that, hey, this is great for him right now, but this isn't a guarantee. This isn't a longer term. Maybe that second contract, things become a little bit more sustainable. But right now, don't pressure your loved one into taking care of your lifestyle right now. That's really the big issue.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, because that financial literacy almost has to be the foundation of, now that he's in the league, let's lay the foundation. Yes, he's in the NFL, but rookie deals are a lot different than what they were, years ago when some of the other guys have come out, and they may be on that deal for 4 or 5 years, depending upon how things go. And like you said, those major purchases can eat that up quickly. And there are no guarantees. Somebody gets hurt.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And so I had a situation with a client where, they're expected to get drafted, 4th or 5th round, ended up not getting drafted, made it on a team. Everything went great on the team, made the team 24 hours later, not on the team anymore. Now they're on the practice squad. Then they get picked up from another team. They have to move. There's moving costs. Now they go to the other team. They're on the team for 2 games. They get cut again, have to move to another state or another team on the practice squad. So what you were planning on and what you were expecting in that first year is something that completely did not happen. And if you're planning to help out family members and you're spending extra dollars on a new car, whatever the case may be, it ends up being a little bit more difficult to financially make it through that time. Because, and again, this is one of the things that always upsets me. They always talk about players not being responsible with their dollars.
Yep.
Well, if you have a job making $500,000 a year and that job goes away, or you go from making $500,000 a year to $100,000 a year, everyone's going to run into issues. And it's hard to not want to spend the dollars that you're making because that's what your salary is.
Right.
But that's what ends up happening with a lot of players. It's just, things that they plan to happen don't.
Yeah, I got you. And again, we've got Mickey McGill joining us, NFL Players Association, registered player financial advisor on the show today. And, again, Mickey, you bring up a good point. The perception of the fan base it sometimes becomes their Bible. Like that's the way it is. I mean, with my $40,000 I save, why don't they save? Man, it's just a whole different deal. I tell people all the time, they're signing contracts. You filled out an application. It's a whole different deal. What kind of questions do you get from players who are really interested in their financial health?
Just how to not run out of money. That's their main thing. So a lot of times when I meet with a player, one of the first questions we ask, do you want to be rich or do you want to be wealthy? And that's the first thing that we talk about. You know, being rich is spending your own income for your lifestyle, right? Being wealthy is using your investments to live on that lifestyle. And there's a difference, right? Wealth is about leaving money and having assets to go to the next generation. Then your descendants continue to have dollars. Being rich lasts pretty much your lifetime, and the next generation spends through it. So that's the real question that we have to work through, is how do they perceive it? Because the way we handle the situation is completely different. If you want to be wealthy, then there's a lot of sacrificing that you need to do today to make sure your money lasts for the rest of your life and you never have to work again. If you want to be rich, that's fine. It's your prerogative. But no, that's what we're doing when we walk into it. It's really about how to say no. And that's the other thing that they want to know, is how do I say no to people? And I'm the bad guy. I have no problem being the bad guy. I may look nice, but I have no problem telling people no and telling to their face that that's not going to happen.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Not at all.
Stay right there, man. I have to take another quick break, but it'll be a quick one. We'll come back with Mickey McGill joining us right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well,
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
If you or a loved one is a survivor of abuse by Boy Scouts of America representatives as far back as the 1970s, we urge you to speak up. We'll stand with you and get you the help and financial compensation you deserve. A jury in Portland, for example, awarded $18.5 million in punitive damages in one Boy Scout sexual abuse case. The Boy Scouts of America filed for bankruptcy, and funds have been set aside to compensate those injured. Time is limited, and so are the funds. Call today. Don't wait. For free information on how to file your claim, call All Survivors Advocates right now. We have a long track record in helping our clients get the legal justice and compensation they deserve. Please, we are ready to help you. Call today.
800-351-7914. 800-351-7914. 800-351-7914. That's 800-351-7914.
Now is a great time to replace your worn-out windows during the Renewal by Andersen 25-year savings event. Upgrade your home today. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Plus, get 12 months with no interest, no money down, and no payments. Call now. Get 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Installation and warranty included. Renewal by Andersen takes every CDC-recommended safety precaution to protect your family. For 25 years, people have trusted us for their window replacement needs, and you can too. Call now to learn about our buy 4, get the 5th one free window replacement offer.
800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. That's 800-245-1537.
This is Brian Courtney Wilson, and you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and I've got a very special guest joining me, Mr. Mickey McGill. Mickey, we just kind of jumped right into it, man. I don't think I let people get a chance to get to know you. Tell everybody where you're from originally and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm for the most part from Houston, Texas. So that's why I claim. I went to middle school and high school here. Proud Jack Yates alumni. Had a lot of my classmates out there. From here, I went to college in Virginia, Hampton University, and HBCU. Graduated from there, and in essence, really started in the financial planning services. So worked for a funding and financial service for about 3 years in Las Vegas before I came back to Houston and started working with Ameriprise Financial, and I've been there for 18 years now.
Wow, that's a good long time, man. That's a very good long time. And we love the HBCUs here on the legendary KYOK. In fact, I just had a young lady on Friday from Black College Experience, and that's all she does is rock sports and events going on with HBCUs. So much respect for you on that. How did you decide to get into the financial planning industry? Interesting enough.
So actually, I wasn't planning to go that direction when I was in college. I really was focusing on communications, right? Going into television. My dad was actually worked for NBC for many years, and so that was my whole goal. I was going to be president of NBC. That was my everything.
That was it, huh?
And until I got to college, and then once I got in the major, I decided to make a change at that point and decided to go into business. And then after graduating, kind of worked in the financial field. I wanted to be a business owner. I never really wanted to work for another person. I really wanted to have whatever I did. The work I put in was the reward I got. So the thing that made the most sense was financial planning. I met a financial advisor when I was in Las Vegas and decided, you know what, that seems like a great career. Moved back to Houston and I jumped in full force and been doing it, loving it ever since.
Mickey, I mean, I just had a celebrity business coach on the show this past Friday. And one of the questions I asked him was about our culture and ownership. I came from that era. You graduate from college, you get a degree, you get a good job with a good company, some benefits, and you work there, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. You wait for that paycheck on Friday. You enjoy your weekend, you recycle, you do it again on Monday. And then hopefully after 40 years, you can retire, you get a gold watch and what have you. Those days change quickly. And it's almost like the mentality has to change nowadays. How do we get more folks understanding ownership as opposed to just being an employee?
Well, a lot of times it ends up just being fear, right? The fear of the unknown, not knowing if this idea will work or what will be next for me. So I always tell people, make your side hustle your next hustle, right? So if you're fearful about that, no worries. Do something on the side after work. Do something that you're passionate about. Because if you do something that you're ultimately passionate about, it will always turn into more money. So for example, for me, right? I'm actually passionate about what my job is. I almost feel it's my ministry, on my financial ministry. And that's why I try to do a lot of speaking engagements. But more important than that is mentorship. That's the real passion that I have. And so my side hustle was mentorship. I do my rites of passage class. I teach etiquette. I teach hygiene, which has nothing to do with finance, but I teach business acumen inside of that. I talk about people, using etiquette to make more money, right? I go through a list of the most successful hip hop artists and who actually make the most money. And then I show a picture of them, in their hip hop world and then in their business world and the dichotomy between the two. That is something really different. So for me, it's like whatever your passion is, do that thing on the side. Once you figure that out, start making money on it. And then once that thing continues to blow up, then you might be able to transition from your work life into your business world. But it's something different too. It's a little bit more specific because there's a difference between being self-employed and being a business owner. Self-employed, you have to show up. If you don't show up, you don't make money.
Right.
Being a business owner, you can literally be in bed and still make dollars. Residual income is what it's ultimately about. So my thing is get the business idea, get the passion around that, and then turn your business into being a business owner the older and longer you're in it.
Yeah, I want to translate this to sports because, and again, I know you're on the NFL side. Before the NBA got in the bubble and started, finished up their 2020 season, several players, including WNBA players, got on a conference call, partly initiated by Kyrie Irving. And one of the things allegedly that came up on the call was about league ownership, not team ownership, but league ownership, where they could kind of control some of the mandates and the requirements, and reap the benefits themselves, rather than being told you got to show up and play, or you're not going to make money, you're not going to get all of your salary. Ella Dawn had to fight for her ability to get a part of her salary, and she's got serious underlying conditions. And long story short, Kyrie got vilified. Like, who are you to think that you can start your own league? Why is that a bad thing? Why do people think that it's bad for players to feel like they can not only be players now, but owners and even league owners later?
Fear. It boils down to that. It's just fear, right? It's the fear of the power shifting from one group to another. It tends to be the biggest issue. So, and it's also fear on the side of the players, thinking that, it's too difficult to start something up. I mean, The Rock just purchased the XFL, right? There's opportunities there. So my thing is this: if there's not a seat at the table, bring your own chair. If there's no room, build your own table, right? So that's what we have to have more conversations in. And it's great that you want to be an athlete as a child, that you want to be an NFL player, an NBA player. That's great, but that's too low in my opinion, right? Have a goal to own a team, to build your own league. And if you end up being a player and it's just being a player, then you fell short of your goal, but it's still good. Shoot for something way above and beyond, and then work your way down. But it's about business ideas, and it's about teaching that and making sure that the youth understand that it's not about being the glitz and glam in front of the camera. It's really about making the money behind, because the person who writes the check will always have more money than the person who gets the check, and that's why I always try to teach my kids, for sure.
We've got a good friend of the show, former NFL player Garrett Jones, played for the Houston Texans, the Atlanta Falcons, played in the CFL, and then started a states development football league. And now he's going through all the classes to be a general manager and that in the NFL. And one thing he always says is your boss is never going to pay you enough for you to live next door to him.
That's very true. That's very, very true. And this is another thing too. I always tell people. So I have a list of the 5 wealthiest retired NBA players. The number 2 on that list is a person that most people never heard of before, Junior Bridgman. He's worth $600 million. No one's ever heard of him before, right? So he was a 6th man on a team, played from the 70s and the 80s, mainly in Detroit, in different areas. But he started while he was playing, buying up Wendy's franchises. He was the 2nd largest Wendy's owner in the world and worth $600 million. Now he's since sold it and moved on to another venture. But that's what I always try to tell people. It doesn't matter how much money you make when you're on the field or on the court. It's what you do with those dollars and what you do with those opportunities. Right. This is the thing. There are so many opportunities afforded to players that they don't take advantage of because they don't think it's necessary. The NFL, for example, they have something called an externship, where you have an ability after the season is done, during your off season, to have an internship with different companies. And it's 3 to 4 weeks, completely free. Everything's taken care of. But everybody loves an NFL player. Everyone loves an NBA player. Once you stop playing, that love starts to diminish unless you're one of those Hall of Famers.
Sure.
Take advantage of those opportunities that you can talk to CEO of a company while you're playing, because they want to brag about the player that they know that they see on Sunday. This is the time that you use your opportunity to get in front of business owners, to get in front of opportunities where you don't have to use your own money. You can use their money. They just want to use your influence. That's what it's really about right now while you're playing.
Right.
I try to teach that constantly.
Man, Mickey McGill, NFL Players Association registered player financial advisor, lighting us up here on the lunch break. I did get a message. His name, Oh, no, he said, how much is not enough to have a financial advisor? What's that line?
Honestly, there's not one. Okay. So there's a lot of different type of financial advisors out there. There are some financial advisors that will do monthly reoccurring fees to give advice and to help you, in essence, really be a financial coach. It can be as low as $25 or $50 a month. There are a lot of companies out there that will do that. I'm in a different type of space. I've been doing this a long time, and so I tend to have a little bit more of a minimum working with me, but there are a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different advisors out there. So honestly, I don't think it's too minimum, because the way I look at it is like training and going to the gym.
Okay.
You will tend to work out a little bit more if you have a trainer waiting on you, checking the watch, saying you're not there, one more rep. You tend to do more. When you do it by yourself, you tend to give yourself excuses why you can't save $5 more of your paycheck, right? It tends to be that thing. And having someone to hold you accountable financially is a very important thing.
I got you. I got someone that tried to call in. I'm trying to get them to call back. Here's another text message. 1 or 2 points that you would give someone who is more than likely going to be in the NFL. And I know this parent, and he's right. His son is more than likely going to be in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Start your education now, right? This is the problem. You go from making $0 in college to making $500,000 or $1 million or more. If you're not ready for those dollars, your mindset isn't going to be there. You want to go spend more money than you need to. You want to go buy the flashy car. You want to go buy the jewelry because, again, you never had it before. But if you understand deferred gratification, and that's something I always talk about with my players, especially if I get to them early while they're still playing and educating them, let me show you what compound interest actually is. What does it actually do for your situation? If you understand, if you spend $10,000 at the club popping bottles, but then you take that same $10,000 and you invest it, and it can turn into $500,000 by the time you get to retirement, you may not spend that $10,000 so easily. So for me, it's really about getting a better understanding of how money works while you're still in school before you have money. So when you get it, it's an easier transition.
Yeah.
Another thing,
let me bring this caller in real quick.
Okay.
Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
AJ, it's Todd.
Hey, Todd, go ahead. You're live with AJ, with myself and with Mickey.
So, Mickey, I had a question for you.
Sure.
So, probably a couple months ago, I reached out to a financial advisor in Dallas, right? They're a pretty well-known firm from what I gathered. And their strategy was, whoever they're working with, they wanted to take basically half of their money that they had and put it into the market. So if I have $500,000 in the bank, right, they want me to put $250 of that in the market. And my response to them was, I'm pretty risk adverse, or I wanted to start out with something smaller until they prove themselves. So I wanted your input on, if you're still trying out a financial advisor or work with someone new, if somebody asking for that much money up front to dump into the market when you've never even, played the stock market before.
Yeah, so investing is about risk tolerance, right? So it sounds right now that you're more like a conservative investor. And until you learn and understand, I'll tell you this, work with a financial advisor that understands your risk tolerance and works at your level. So a lot of times, unfortunately, financial advisors will have, this is how we do our investing, this is how things work. And that's fine for them, but that may not be the best fit for you to be a client of, right? So, half the money, that sounds like they're putting you more like at a moderate risk tolerance. But if you're more conservative, then again, just build your way up into it. And you just have to continue to shop around until you find someone that is willing to invest the way that you see your risk. Risk level is all about time, right? The more time you have, the more opportunity you can have for things to happen in the market a little bit more volatile. So if I had a goal next year, let's say, I wouldn't put all my money in the market. I probably wouldn't even put half my money in the market because that's too much risk for some money that I need next year. But if my goal isn't for 10 or 15 years, then having more equities in your portfolio would make sense. But again, it's really personal and specific to your situation. So again, like I said, find an advisor that's going to understand your risk tolerance and invest the way that you feel comfortable. Because it's your money, it's your decision.
Let me ask one last thing if I can, AJ.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
So can I, like I was asking this financial advisor, I was like, is the only way you can help me make money is through the market? Like I have some ideas of like businesses to invest in or real estate. So can a financial advisor help advise you investing in other areas outside of putting your money in the market?
Yeah, actually, that's a lot of times is what I do with my players, because there's other opportunities that come into play, and we do financial planning. So financial planning is other businesses, right? It is real estate, it is construction, it is all these different types of things. My job is not to bring you these investments that are outside of the market, because we really mainly deal with the market. But my job as a financial advisor is, if you're a business owner, my job is to help you out with your business too. So yes, that can be a part of that. But again, you got to deal with a financial advisor that's more of a financial planner than just an investment advisor. So it sounds like you may be dealing with more of an investment advisor more than a financial planner.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for the time, guys. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. Thank
Thanks for
you.
the call. Todd Malcolm, one of our longtime lunch breakers. Good question right here on the show. One of the other calls that came in, or text messages that came in, let me find them, because a lot of folks trying to talk Dallas Mavericks. Okay, here we go. This one right here says, so AJ, how would he suggest my son handle his friends, because that's where the majority of his money gets wasted?
Right. So a couple of things. Number one, empower your friends if those are going to be the people that are going to be around you. So LeBron James is a perfect example of that, right?
Yeah.
He went into the league and he worked with an agent, he worked with a manager, whatever the case may be, but he sent his friend to school. He made sure that his friend was educated on how to be an agent so he can take over his contract. So if those friends are around you, don't want to grow, you got to find yourselves new friends. And I hate to say it, it's a very hardcore, but that is the truth, because you are moving in a different space. You can't have hanger-oners, because once the money is gone, a lot of times they end up being gone too. That's number one. Number two, if they're your boys, and I understand you don't want to give up your friends you've had for a lifetime, you have to have restrictions for your friends. So for me, I have my clients budget the money they have for their friends and family. Unfortunately, family goes in there too, right? We come up with a predetermined budget on how much money goes into that account on a monthly basis. Once the money is gone, it's gone. So if it's only $1,000 a month that they have for their friends and family, that includes gifts, that includes trips, that includes everything. Once the money is gone, you're not touching any part of these other dollars, because you made an agreement to yourself. It's not about me, it's about you. You made the agreement to yourself that you wanted to be wealthy or you wanted to be rich. This is what it takes, and this is what you have to do. You have to budget, and you have to put money aside for those things.
Yeah. Mickey, we got to take one more quick break. We'll be right back. More with Mickey McGill. I'm going to keep calling you by your first name. Mickey.
I know. I got two last names. It's fun.
That's all right. You're really blessing us today. We'll be right back with more right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
I'm a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. That's 800-547-4170.
Now is a great time to replace your worn-out windows during the Renewal by Andersen 25-year savings event. Upgrade your home today. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Plus, get 12 months with no interest, no money down, and no payments. Call now. Get 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Installation and warranty included. Renewal by Andersen takes every CDC-recommended safety precaution to protect your family. For 25 years, people have trusted us for their window replacement needs, and you can too. Call now to learn about our buy 4, get the 5th one free window replacement offer.
800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. That's 800-245-1537.
I'm Ben Tankett, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all. We got it going on right here on Media Monday here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and I'm joined by Mickey McGill. He is an NFL Players Association registered financial advisor. I'm glad to have him on the show. Mickey, what's the average length of your relationship with a player? Do they have you for their entire career? How's that work?
Yeah, I'm here definitely for the entire career and afterwards. So I have players that, started with me 3 years ago that are actually now no longer in the league, but we still have our meetings and I'm still there for them. So again, what I tend to do is a little bit different than just being a financial advisor. It's more of a mentor relationship. I've had 1.5 to 2 hour conversations about their girlfriends, right? About their wives. So, I mean, it goes a little bit deeper because, again, mentorship is my passion. And this is the most important thing. If they don't respect my opinion as a man, they're not going to respect my opinion for their money. And so that's why I have to create a better bond with my clients, because when I need to tell them no, or this doesn't make much sense, they need to have a better understanding of it. So again, it is for a lifetime. I'll be working with them and their kids. And when my kids hopefully take over my practice when I get older, they'll be working with their kids. And that's a family situation for sure.
Registered player financial advisor with the NFL Players Association. That's just amazing. What's the toughest part of your job?
Well, I mean, honestly, is getting in front of players. That's really the hardest part. I mean, it's not an easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. It's definitely something that's more difficult. But once you do, it's really just building the relationship. It's the hardest part, and building the relationship fast enough that they don't end up spending a lot of money because they're not listening to you. I've had times where someone spent $40,000 on some jewelry but didn't tell me, right? Went and bought a brand new car and, oh yeah, you got to cash this check. I'm like, whoa, it doesn't quite work like that. We need to have these conversations before. Anything over $1,000 needs to be discussed, so we make sure it's the best decision for them. At the same time, players get taken advantage of. I had a player that was trying to buy a new dog, and it ended up being a scam, and I had to get on the phone with the scammer from another country, mind you, and walk him through it and how to get rid of him that way. So again, I'm here to help. That's my whole thing. I have to let them know that I'm here to help and not here to bash them or judge them, but it's about making the best decisions for their future. That's what it boils down to.
Mickey, I hate to ask this, but you kind of came up with what you just said. Have you ever had to tell someone thank you, but no thank you, I can't work with you anymore?
Unfortunately, yes. So I've had to turn down people. That is true. I always say this. I always look for high character players. I don't care if you're an undrafted free agent or a first round draft pick, because what I know is, someone always said this before, your film is your floor, but your character is your ceiling. So I know all the time, if you're a high character person and your work ethic is there, the athletic ability is there, then you're going to be successful. I have an undrafted free agent right now that is one of the best linebackers in the league right now. So again, it doesn't matter where you go, but it's about your character. One of my players, unfortunately, didn't quite listen. Only called me when there was a problem. Had a truck repossessed, not because he couldn't afford it, because he didn't sign the paperwork. You're not listening to me. So unfortunately, that's a relationship that I'm just not going to be a part of.
I got you, man. Don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you. I'll tell you. Listen, if you're going to be with me, you're going to be growing and you're going to be better. Same thing I say with my players. If you don't surround yourself with friends that want to do better and grow, it's the same thing. If you're a client and you don't want to grow and improve your life, and not only improve your life, but improve the life of people around you, if you're just a selfish person, I don't need you to be there either. Because this is the thing. I was a successful advisor before I started working with athletes.
Gotcha.
I'm going to be a successful advisor if I never work with another athlete again.
Right.
So it is on my terms. You have to be growing and you have to want to do better. That's the way I see it.
Mickey, let me ask you this. Do you ever have any kind of this with agents or general managers or coaches or anything like that? Who gives you the most problem in the relationship, not named the player or a family member?
It can be sometimes the agent, because sometimes the agents want to have a lot more control in the situation. But I tend not to work with players from those agencies. If they feel like they need to be number one in the world, and don't want to have the advisor, even there's some agents don't even want the financial advisor to be in real contact with the player. So I'm just not going to be a part of that. It's just not part of my world.
Wait a minute. Don't let this money person be in charge of the Huh? What?
There are some people out there, I will never name names, but that is the situation. They want to be the end all be all. You don't talk to the player, you only talk to me. I know what my player wants, I know what my player needs. We tend not to get along very well. Because again, my job is, listen, I stay in my lane. I'm very, very clear with that because honestly, I don't really watch sports. Let's keep it real. We're being honest in this. I care about the player. I don't care what they do on the field. So I don't care about the how the agent handles that situation or my job is not to intervene and be the mediator, but my job is to make sure that their money is taken care of. So if the contract comes up to play, that is not my position to negotiate the contract. That is the agent's position. So if a client is coming asking me about the contract, I'm gonna send them back to the agent because that's their job. My job is your money. My job is after the contract is over. Now, once the contract is negotiated, I want to see that contract because I need to know what the incentives are, how they make money, and make sure that we're doing the things and keeping them on task to make sure that they make as much money as possible. That's my responsibility.
Man, I tell you what, Mickey, you have blessed us today. Mickey McGill, NFL Players Association, registered player financial advisor. I know one thing, if you get a call from a certain quarterback in Kansas City that used to play at Texas Tech, nice. take care of our homeboy for us, will you?
Hey, and everyone I get, I take care of and I treat as family. That is for sure.
I know that's right, man. Mickey, tell everybody if they want to follow you or get more information about you and what you do. Can they do that? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, most definitely. So, follow me on Instagram, Mickey McGill, on all platforms, on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Follow me there, most definitely. My website, long of a title, but go to those social media outlets, and all my contact information will definitely be on there. That is for sure.
That's outstanding, man. I love what you're doing outside of your profession. The mentorship, the rites of passage, that's phenomenal stuff. And I know that program over at Windsor Village has really blessed a lot of young people. So, man, thank you for all the great work that you do with that right there. And, man, just keep doing the Mickey McGill.
Most definitely. I appreciate it. I will do my best.
Man, I'll tell you what, we might have to have you back because I'm sure a lot of folks are going to have questions that will pop up. I had several text messages that I couldn't get to, but we might have to find a time to have you back because, man, really, you really helped a lot of people, especially given, like I said, the college situation with these young people now having access to stuff that they didn't have access to before. We got a lot of people that listen to the show that have kids that are involved in, D1, D2, and stuff like that, and this is helpful for them.
Yeah, and most definitely, because again, it's not even about football and basketball. I mean, gymnasts are now being able to make money off their likeness. So there's so many things that come into play that we have to take a look at in advance to set up a plan to have those dollars. And I'll say this last thing for everyone else. Number one, live life on automatic, right? Set up your automatic savings right now. Don't do it when you think about it. Do it now. Your life will be so much better. Make your side hustle your next hustle, right? And live beneath your means. If you're at a point where you're getting closer to retirement, put more money into your retirement account because now you're living on less. It forces you to live on less money and be prepared for retirement. So those are just some quick things for people not on the sports world to think about to make sure that they have a better life for them in the future.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate you doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mickey McGill. He's an NFL Players Association registered player financial advisor, and he just gave us some nuggets that we really, really, really can work with. So, man, thank you again. Have a blessed rest of your week. And again, we'll hopefully have you back on soon.
Please do. Thank you. Enjoy it.
I'm telling you, good brother, good stuff right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM. I got to take another quick break. Let me see if I've got Sybil Wilkes lined up for her COVID-19 update. We'll get to that and more right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
You too. Bye now.
Let me see the hand and know if the Lord say yes, that the other can't say no.
Try Jesus.
Do you know him?
Try
You know him.
I know a man from Galilee. He came to say, oh, set us free. Whatever you're going through, put it in his hands. Turn it over to Jesus. He'll understand. There is no problem.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today about the coronavirus. New guidance from the Trump administration that declares teachers to be critical infrastructure workers could send teachers who have been exposed to COVID-19 back to the classroom. Teachers who were exposed to the virus can be required to quarantine for 14 days during an outbreak, but this requirement could stretch a district's ability to keep providing in-person instruction. A new report from the ACLU reveals that even though Americans have spent most of 2020 inside their homes, social distancing because of the coronavirus pandemic, fatal police shootings have not stopped or slowed down. As of June 30th, law enforcement officers had shot and killed 511 people. Dr. Anthony Fauci urged COVID-19 vaccine researchers to aim to include minorities at higher levels. Black people represent 13% of the U.S. population, but so far, Black people represent only 4.5% of study participants. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
My name is Devon McDonald from Jamaica. Play with Indianapolis Colts, and you listen to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. What a great guest. What a great guest. I mean it. I enjoyed every minute of Mickey McGill, NFL Players Association registered financial advisor. So, man, great stuff. Parents, I mean it. If you've got kids out there that are rising up in the ranks on the college level, and I like what he said at the end, not just in football, but they're gymnasts, they're golfers, they're tennis players, there's track runners. All of them now have the access or the ability to make money off their image, their likeness, and their names, and that is something that before the wrong people get involved, make sure you got the right people involved, like someone like Mickey McGill. So really enjoyed that. And then, of course, if you got an NFL player involved and you have not heard them mention the name Mickey McGill, he is certified with the NFL. I'm registered with the NFL Players Association. So have your son get connected with him, or you get connected with him yourself. He said his toughest job is getting in front of the players. Well, you make sure that he gets in front of the players. And I know I've got some NFL parents out there. I know I do, because y'all know I know y'all, and y'all know me. So again, we want the best for the entire family. All right, quick sports update, and then we'll get into it. Rockets fell 119-107 to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Saturday in Game 3 of their playoff series. Harden fouled out for the first time this season, finished with 38 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. But he was only 3 for 13 from the three. So we'll see if he can bounce back later today, 3 o'clock, live on TNT. The legend of Luka is growing in Dallas. 21-year-old went off. 43 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists, but none bigger than the bang for 3 at the buzzer. Got a 135-133 win over the number 2 seed, LA Clippers. And, oh, yeah, by the way, he did that on a tender ankle. So great job by Luka. Other games from yesterday, Boston eliminated Philly. I want to talk about that series and specifically Philly in a minute. And then also Toronto eliminated Brooklyn 4-0. Utah took a 3-1 lead over Denver, 129-127. Donovan Mitchell went off 51 And let me just tell you, what a game, because I think Denver had a player go for 50. First time that's been done in playoff action. So, again, we'll talk about all that. We'll look at today's game. Astros got swept over the weekend. Rangers got swept over the weekend. And the NFL used a lab that gave them 77 false positive tests. Obviously, they're not going to be using them anymore. All right, so we'll talk about all that next right here on the lunch.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this hollering, we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from that. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, that was first hour on the books, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. What a great first hour, man. I tell you what, I really enjoyed Mickey McGill, NFL Players Association, registered player financial advisor, and man, what great information. Definitely going to have that young man back. And then, again, what a weekend in sports. Can I just say this real quick off the rip? The the NBA is winning. The NBA is winning. These playoffs have been exciting. I mean it. They have been exciting. I know some play, well, it wasn't exciting when when Toronto eliminated Brooklyn or Boston eliminated Philly. Listen, you're just looking for a problem if you use those as the two examples. The Utah-Denver series has been great from start to finish. The Dallas-LA Clippers series has been amazing. Oh, yeah, by the way, the series with Orlando and Milwaukee, everybody thought that was going to be a cakewalk. It is not. And it looks like the Heat might have upset the higher seed Indiana Pacers. So it has been good from start to finish. And oh, yeah, by the way, did I forget to mention the Lakers and Portland? Where my Laker haters at? Where Big Time Floyd? Wait, where y'all at? I can't hear nobody. Today is Kobe Bryant Day, 8/24 in LA. Kobe Bryant Day, 8/24 in LA. So want to acknowledge that. Yesterday, of course, was his birthday. Want to acknowledge that. his wife had a very touching, literally heart-wrenching post on on Instagram about her husband and what he meant. So, I want to acknowledge that. I wanted to play some type of tribute to Kobe Bryant. Kind of hard to do on just audio and not be able to see the video. So I don't want to just do something to be doing it. But I did want to acknowledge Kobe Bryant would have been, 42 yesterday? Would have been 42 yesterday. And today, 8/24, is Kobe Bryant Day in LA. So got to pay my respects to the Black Mamba. Got to pay my respects to his daughter. Got to pay my respects to all the families that were affected on that day that helicopter went down. So, and that includes the pilot. I know there's been a lot of division between Kobe's family and the pilot, and the media and the pilot, and all that kind of stuff. But our thoughts and prayers go out to them as well. Okay. So that being said, man, Shirley Walker King, I'm with you, man. She says the season of the underdog. Let me tell you something. I was asking Valencia King on the show the other day, hey, man, Dallas is way ahead of schedule. Dallas is way ahead of schedule. This is Luka's first playoff action in the NBA ever. And yeah, by the way, he's only 21 years old. And by the way, he didn't have the unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis, who did not play in that game last night because of a minor injury of his own. And oh yeah, by the way, Luka was playing with a tender ankle himself. I am not getting into the James Harden, Luka discussion. That ain't my fight. That's not my battle. I don't even know why it's going on. James Harden is a great player, one of the best scorers many of us have ever seen. Nothing or nobody can take that away from James Harden. But I grew up in an era where you can appreciate more than one player who had greatness without slighting another player. I don't know where that creeped into our culture and our society, but I am not. And you can run and tell that. There's a song that says, now run, tell that. You can run and say, oh, AJ is talking about Luka. He's not talking about Harden. I'm not talking about Harden not because I think Luka is better. Luka had a night to remember. And because I cover the sport, I will cover the night to remember. If you want to play, whatever kind of game it is that makes you feel like you've got to compare the two, then you do that on your own show. That ain't my thing right now. Luka balled out without Kristaps Porzingis. Just seriously, the dude helped everybody on that team, and everybody on that team helped him. That's what I'm talking about, man. I love. Listen, the dude had 43 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists. That's what we're talking about, without having to compare it to anybody else. Youngest to ever have that triple-double stat line in the playoffs. And I want to give some love to some other players, too. I want to give some love to Tim Hardaway Jr., dropping 21. I've been a fan of his since he came to Dallas. Love it. And then Trey Burke. And I got to give credit to Valencia King on the Trey Burke thing. She said, could Trey be that third option to, help the Mavericks, not just bring up the ball, but provide some scoring and, could get his own shot and what have you? Trey Burke balled out. Trey Burke balled out. And, oh, yeah, let me go down the bench and let me give some love to Seth Curry. Seth hit some big shots. Seth drove the lane, put some pressure on that defense. Had some nice kickouts. Seth had a nice kickout. He had one assist, but I remember it. But, man, how big of a moment was that for 21-year-old Luka? And what I loved was it wasn't just a pick and, a double screen or somebody, somebody zoned out on the defense. Now, we'll talk about that a little bit because some folks feel like Kawhi Leonard zoned out on the defense, switched off of Luka, knowing that Luka was going to get the ball and take the final shot. Why was Kawhi not on him? I will talk about that. But, hey, man, he made that shot happen. That was dribble, crossover, in between the legs, looked like he was about to drive, step back, bang. And what I loved is it took that shot a minute to get there, to come down, to hit the back of the inside of the rim and go through the net. It wasn't just a straight swish. That time must have seemed like it was an eternity if you are an LA Clipper fan or if you were on the court as an LA Clipper player. Because that bad boy was like one of those, is that going to go in? Oh, that's going to go in. Doggone it, that went in. And he had that much time. But the step back and the dribble was, again, I got to give him credit. And yes, that's Harden's shot. But it does. I don't think Harden has the copyright on the step back three. Again, it's not a comparison for me. It's a great game by Luka. Big win by the Mavericks. They're tied 2-2 with a team that some had as the favorite to win the NBA championship. Let's put it in perspective. You had a whole lot of folks that had either the Clippers in Milwaukee or the Clippers in Toronto. That's the sexy pick. So I'm just saying. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll come right back right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. If you want to get in, hit me up, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. It's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
An attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health insurance for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health insurance for you and your family immediately, starting at just $6 a day. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. That's right, for about $6 a day, you can have guaranteed health insurance. And there's dental, vision, and prescription coverage too. You owe it to yourself and your family to make this free call right now and learn more. There are no deductibles, no waiting period, no contracts, and coverage is guaranteed. Call National Health right now for your risk-free guaranteed health insurance quote starting at just $6 a day. Call now.
800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. That's 800-797-0921.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park. I listen to the lunch break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. AJ Jones, let me go to a text message real quick. Again, I won't say the names. I've been saying them all day. AJ, I've never heard you excited like this for a Houston team. Why don't you go ahead and move to Dallas? First of all, I don't know where we got this fandom rules kind of thing where, if you don't root for the team in the city that you live in, that you're a hater and that you got to move out. Trust me when I say my money has helped the economy here in Houston for a long, long time. I might not be born and bred here, but listen, I've been here since 1989. So there's a lot of communities here who have been benefiting from my money. So I ain't going nowhere until I want to go somewhere. Number one. Number two, again, I am a fan of. Listen, I'm not talking about an employee. I'm not talking about for the station. I'm not talking about for my show. I am a fan of the Houston Rockets. And as a fan, I have the right to not like certain things about the team that I love. I was a fan of the Rockets before James Harden. I was a fan of the Rockets before Tracy McGrady. I've been a fan of the Rockets, since Ralph Sampson. So do me a favor. Hold up on trying to run me off, okay? But as I said, as a fan and not a homer, there's a difference. I can criticize my team constructively. Now, I'm not a fan of the Texans, so I'm not beholden to anybody when it comes to them. I chew them up like I chew up, salmon, not salmon. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
This is Shirley Walker King Kong from Dallas. I'm gonna have to get on your caller now.
Yeah, these people messing with me like I gotta move to Dallas because they don't like the way that I talk about their team that got ate up by an Oklahoma City Thunder team. And oh yeah, James Harden was 3 for 13 from 3. I told y'all not gonna live by the 3, you're gonna die by it. Go ahead.
Hello, you live by it, you die by it. It's not gonna always be consistent. You better be a well-rounded player to get this here championship because this is the year of the underdog, period, point blank. This game, this bubble is about taking it back to the park. How did you play with your boys when you played at the park?
Let me tell you something. We wasn't sitting out there jacking a bunch of threes. We driving by, we posting up, we doing any means necessary, really.
By any means necessary. There's no whistle out there to save you. So you better play your game. Ball up. Next.
You know what? You sound like you know what you're talking about, Miss former professional basketball player.
I know a little something.
They don't know about that those blacktop games.
Oh, no. They don't know about that. Being again born in Texas, raised in California, I'm used to the heat and the breeze. So you can either play on the concrete or we can play right across the street from the beach. How you want to do it?
See, and you got to allow for that breeze. So you got to adjust your shot. So I think we've got a basketball expert on the phone right here, Shirley Walker King. But what a game, though. What a game. What a game.
Man, I'm just here to tell you. And I love it. And people, Valencia will tell you, most people know, I'm not like on the Luka bandwagon, if you will, because I'm not really on to new players. I like you to earn your stripes before you start getting my cheers and hoorays.
Right.
So I'm one of those people who's been on Luka's case, like, step up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you crying and whining. You have not earned that privilege yet. And so when he gets to crying and whining, he loses me. But yesterday, he earned, as the sailors would say, he earned a stripe or two.
That's the thing. I've been impressed with Luka since y'all got him. But last night, with him hitting that shot, first of all, stepping up to take it. Second of all, creating the shot. And then third of all, hitting it. Yeah, I can't do nothing but celebrate him today. Now, I might be booing him tomorrow. But right now, I got to give credit where credit is due.
We're in the same wagon. I might be booing him tomorrow, but for right now, I'm going to give him his props for what he did in last night's game. He put the team on his shoulder and said, I'm going to either die by this or I'm going to survive by this. And he survived that shot. And he put a little dent in his little bridge for his legacy that he's creating. I will applaud him for that. And like you said earlier, but it took the entire team.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody stepped up. And that's what normally the Mavericks do. It takes a lot for the Mavericks to get disenfranchised, but when they pull it together and play as a team and realize, yes, the coach and the cheers and the fans may be for Luka, but Luka can't do it by himself. We have to do our part too.
Yeah, let me tell you, Kleber's rebounds, Tim Hardaway Jr.'s shots, and Trey Burke. I got to give credit to your daughter. Trey Burke is everything that she said he was and more, because dude balled out last night.
Oh yeah. And like I said on the post, this is a season for the underdog. Trey was traded with the big New York trade, as we all know, and then the Mavericks ended up releasing him and brought him back once they realized they had a slot in the bubble. And when you bring in somebody back to go into the bubble, you're going to bring somebody that you have some kind of faith in, that they're going to get in where they fit in, and they may know how this works with the Dallas Mavericks. Everybody wouldn't be able to play with the Mavericks, because Rick Carlisle is a certain coach who's going to coach the way the hell he wants to coach.
Yep.
Period, point blank.
Yep. Well, Shirley Walker King, go ahead.
Yeah. And when he says his mentality is next man up, he means it. So when he calls on your name, he expects you to deliver. And even if that means he hasn't called on you in 2 weeks, when he calls you, be ready.
And I can't be mad at him for that. And I got to tell you, I'm not a Rick Carlisle fan, but I got a lot of respect for him, because when we got word right before the tip that Porzingis wasn't going to play, it was like, oh man, here we go. This is about to be a blowout. Anything but. They hung around, stayed in it. Even after they blew the lead, they stayed in it and pulled that thing out man, I loved it. Outstanding.
Yeah, it was definitely worth watching the game in the bubble without the audience. And I know a lot of people are getting frustrated. It's not the same. I'm like, look, what are you doing looking at the fans anyway? The game is on the court.
Right.
So no matter where they play, the game is on the court. And those gentlemen last night on both sides, for what it's worth, gave their audience, their TV viewers, something to watch last night. And it was really interesting. It brought basketball back to life.
Well, that's why I say the NBA is winning. The NBA is winning right now with with what they're doing, and I'm impressed. I got to tell you, I am very impressed with what the NBA has been able to pull off.
Yeah, I think some of the other leagues need to look at it, and I applaud the NBA for stepping out there and saying, "Hell, we'll be the guinea pigs. Let's just see what's going to happen," because somebody has to do it. And so the NBA said, let's figure it out. And what they are doing so far is working. I'm a little concerned that, the bubble may be opening up, but we're going to see what happens. I don't know if anything has changed on that. I'll have to get with Valencia. She's more up on that to me than I am. But I believe that they are looking at potentially opening up the bubble to certain family members.
Spouses, possible girlfriends, on this next round of the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm with you. It ain't broke. Let's leave it like it is. So. Yeah,
because my thing is, hey, look, I'm a military spouse, so I know what the separation is like. But you got to take one for the team. This is his career. This is his job. We know what we got into. Let's just go ahead and suck this up. We will see you on Zoom. And we didn't have Zoom when Vincent was out to sea for 6 months at a time.
Yeah. Well, again, if anybody knows, it's you.
Yeah, so to me, I would want that safety and security to say, you've made it this far in this bubble without any interference, without anybody contracting COVID. Let's keep it the same. I, as a family member, wouldn't want you to change anything. If it ain't broke, leave it alone.
Hey, listen, stay focused and run me my check.
Run me my money.
Shirley Walker King, you be safe out there. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right, take care.
All right, what a call. I love her. Her, Valencia King, Vincent King, good people. All right, y'all, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no-judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Now is a great time to replace your worn-out windows during the Renewal by Andersen 25-year savings event. Upgrade your home today. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Plus, get 12 months with no interest, no money down, and no payments. Call now. Get 4 windows and get the 5th one free. Installation and warranty included. Renewal by Andersen takes every CDC recommended safety precaution to protect your family. For 25 years, people have trusted us for their window replacement needs, and you can too. Call now to learn about our buy 4, get the 5th one free window replacement offer.
800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. That's 800-245-1537.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
Man, I mean it. Good basketball. Got a shout out to Emmanuel Williams. What's up, E-Breeze? Valencia King checking us out. Carol Phillips Grogan checking us out. Big shout out to you, Monique Mosley. And I think Karen Gibson had to go back and start making the donuts. Floyd Andrews, Big Time Floyd, said, hello, AJ and the Breakers. Yes, I agree with you. There have been some exciting games, even in the bubble. Luka Doncic was outstanding. Could this be the year of the upset? We will have a surprise champ. Will we have a surprise champ this year? Hey, man, listen. Again, there is no definitive home court advantage in the bubble. So it's not like you got to win, 4 out of 7 having to go to LA or having to go to Milwaukee or having to go north of the border to Toronto. You got to win down there in the bubble. I mean, what? The only team that has a home court advantage right now is Orlando, and they don't have fans in the stands, so it's not a home court advantage. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's wide open. Nothing will surprise me in the bubble. And that's why I'm trying to tell Rocket fans, calm down a little bit. And, your team is not going to lose 1 point because I say one thing constructive about them or criticize them about one thing. You've seen this picture before. The Rockets live by the 3. They die by the 3. Some games they're falling, some games they're not. Okay, y'all gonna mess with me. Let me give it to you. Let's go to the Rockets box score. Can we do that, please? Saturday, Rockets box score. Houston. Remember when y'all told me that Eric Gordon was gonna be all that and more like he was 2 games ago? Eric Gordon, this last game, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Wait for it. 2 for 10 from 3. And I told y'all, Eric Gordon, man, he looks like Eric Gordon of old, but he's subject to come out and, not be all that. Remember y'all told me P.J. Tucker was going, oh, yeah, P.J.'s locked in now. P.J. Tucker. 5 points. I said it. 5 points. 8 rebounds. 0 assists. 1 for 5 from 3. Well, why are you talking about the 3? Because that's what y'all shoot. A lot. Remember Robert Covington? Oh, yeah, we got our Cov. How they like to just put the first initial and, we got our Cov. Okay. 5 points. 5 rebounds, and 0 assists. Oh, yeah, we got Daniel Allhouse. Daniel Allhouse had a good game, 15 and 10, no assists. James Harden, 38, 7 and 8, 3 for 13 from the 3-point line. Now, the best thing about James's game was he had 1 turnover. That's the best thing about his game. He did not turn the ball over a lot. The Rockets as a whole didn't turn the ball over a lot. But when you've got that amazing production from guys that you normally don't get the production from, I'm just telling you, this Rockets team, we've seen it. Off the bench, 22 and 7 from Jeff Green. I like him. I like Jeff Green. Jeff Green has been the MVP for the Rockets in the bubble. During the playoffs, I give it to Jeff Green. Dude is balled out. He's handled the ball. He shot the basket well. He's even played decent defense. I'm just saying, calm down. Your Rockets team and their game has to translate to a championship, not just beating Oklahoma City. I'm trying to elevate the expectations of this city. The one chip that you've gotten in the last decade was cheated. You cheated to get it. You want to be known as the cheating city and the city that always comes up short? I don't. Hopefully they'll play better today. I mean, listen, you got 26 points off the bench. Sounds pretty good, right? You got 22 of them from one guy, Jeff Green. You got nothing from Ben McLemore, and you only got 4 from Austin Rivers. I'm just saying, if y'all quit being so sensitive. I said this Sunday in church, people argue about the wrong things. Oh, he said mean things about the Rockets. Oh, he's a hater. Move away. Get out of town. Go back to where you came from. You're arguing about the wrong stuff. You're arguing about the wrong stuff. Hold on. Can we look at something real quick? Let's go to the box score for the Toronto Raptors in Brooklyn. Toronto Raptors, their bench scored 100 points. Their bench scored 100 points. You got 27 from Serge Ibaka. You got 29 from Norman Powell. You got 12 from Matt Thomas. I mean, they got 100 points from their bench in a game where they scored 150. Oh, yeah, by the way, they don't have Kawhi this year. No, but AJ, they're playing Brooklyn. I mean, for Christ's sake. Yeah, Brooklyn is kind of like a playoff team. Yeah, but it's the East. They play playoffs in the East, too. Like, stop making excuses for other people's team and get educated about your own team. Your team's style of play is still a question mark. We don't know if your team's style of play, which was built for a team that's not even in the playoffs. The Rockets' style of play was built to beat the Golden State Warriors, who are not even there. Now, the question is, can that style of play beat the Lakers? Can that style of play beat the Clippers? Can that style of play beat Portland? Can that style of play beat Denver? Can that style of play beat Utah? Can that style of play beat the Dallas Mavericks? That's what we got to find out. And we don't know. In fact, we got more information that kind of tells us it won't than that it will. You can't count the regular season. Oh, yeah, we beat the Lakers 3 times this season with small ball. This ain't the regular season. And this Denver team ain't the same as the old Denver team. Look, all joking aside, y'all might be worried about the wrong thing. You watch this. You might get past the Lakers. Hold on. Let me start at the top because the Oklahoma City Thunder ain't done with y'all yet. You might get past OKC. Okay. You might get past either Denver or Portland. But baby, run up against the Mavericks the way they playing right now. And I've said from the beginning, you do not match up well with the LA Clippers. I'm not backing away. I'm not hard to find. I'm right here. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Stop being so sensitive. You cannot have not won a championship since 95 and be sensitive. It's like being loud and wrong. You just loud and wrong. Oh, different if you had. I'm gonna make the Cowboy fans feel good about themselves. It'd be different if you have 3, 4, 5 championships. You can be a little sensitive then. You're not gonna win them all. New England Patriots fans, they can be a little sensitive. How many chips they got? Steeler fans, they can be a little sensitive. But you got none since 95 and 94. Can't be sensitive. Texan fans, you can't be sensitive at all. You got problems of your own. You cannot be sensitive at all. So anyway, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. I think there's some games underway, so let me see what's happening right now. Milwaukee, looks like, it's halftime, 58-52. 58-52, Milwaukee leading Orlando. That series is 2-1 Milwaukee. With a win, Milwaukee could take a 3-1 lead. With a win for Orlando, it'll be tied at 2 each. And again, it could happen. The Rockets are going to tip at 3. Then you got Miami and the Pacers at 5:30. These are central. And then later on tonight, you got Lakers and Portland. And all those games are on TNT. But again, I want to say this. The NBA is winning. Whatever they have done to set up this bubble and whatever they're doing to screen players inside of it, and even when the players leave the bubble, whatever their process is to put them back in, it's working. It is working. I don't know. Obviously, the NFL didn't plan for a bubble. It's not going to do a bubble. But this right here is working. And I know the NFL is kind of, beating its chest right now because the testing agency, apparently was getting it more wrong than right. 77 false positive tests. But I still don't know if you can get excited about that, because think about it. The NFL hadn't gone anywhere yet. They've created a bubble for training camp. So obviously you don't want to see a bunch of positive tests going on in your training camp. Well, AJ, the players are going home. Some of them are. Most of them are staying, either in a hotel or, at the facility, depending upon the team. But I say again, you got to jump on a plane. You got to land in another city. You got to go through their airport, some part of it. You got to get in some form of transportation to a hotel. You got to check in said hotel. You got to go to the room. You got to sleep in the room. You got to be transported from the room to the stadium. You got to get in the stadium. You got to get in the locker room. You got to get from the locker room to the field. You got to play the game. Go back to the locker room. Get back in the transportation and either go to the airport or back to the hotel. It's a lot that can go wrong there. It's a lot of moving parts for the environment that we're in. The NBA is winning. And I'm no Adam Silver fan. I'm no, NBA is my favorite sport. No, football is. The NBA model is winning. Not Major League Baseball's. Don't know yet about the NFL. And I certainly don't know about college. Not yet. But the NBA model is winning. And it's good, exciting basketball. Even without fans. Are the fans, virtual fans, a little cheesy? Yeah, but again, it's better than nothing. The crowd noise is a little cheesy. Yeah, but it's better than nothing. I like the way that they're having family members and loved ones introducing the players. But Al High, and Al, if I'm saying your name wrong, forgive me. He says the NHL bubble has done well too. Yeah, again, the bubble environment is winning. I like what I see out of the NHL. And what a lot of people don't realize was when they crowned the women's soccer champion, they had a bubble. They were all in a bubble. So the bubble environment seems to be winning. I'm not saying that the non-bubble environment is going to lose. I'm just saying right now, the only ones we got are NHL and NBA. They're winning. And it's exciting. Hockey fans aren't complaining. NBA fans, the purists might be, oh, well, they should have done this and they should have done that. And yeah, okay, but they didn't. And this is pretty okay for right now. Like, people went from 1 week of saying, oh, just give me something. Just give me some kind of live professional sports. I want to see some live NBA. I want to see some live baseball. And then a week later, oh, but I don't like that they had this. And I don't like that they, just a week ago, you were ready to, I don't know, watch Korean baseball just so you can have something. Now you're nitpicking what you got. The NFL has a to be determined behind its name. The NBA, NHL, stars, check marks. Good, very good. Proud of it, like it. Again, loving every bit of it. Looking forward to round 2. Round 1 ain't over yet. So let me take a break. Be right back with more right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. I'll be right back.
It's inspiring. It's empowering.
It's life-changing.
It's called to inspire with best-selling author and motivational speaker, Dr. Sylvia Cole. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock here on the legendary KYOK, 1140 AM, 92.3 FM, and KYOK.org.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
If you or a loved one is a survivor of abuse by Boy Scouts of America representatives as far back as the 1970s, we urge you to speak up. We'll stand with you and get you the help and financial compensation you deserve. A jury in Portland, for example, awarded $18.5 million in punitive damages in one Boy Scout sexual abuse case. The Boy Scouts of America filed for bankruptcy, and funds have been set aside to compensate those injured. Time is limited, and so are the funds. Call today. Don't wait. For free information on how to file your claim, call All Survivors Advocates right now. We have a long track record in helping our clients get the legal justice and compensation they deserve. Please, we are ready to help you. Call today.
800-351-7914. 800-351-7914. 800-351-7914. That's 800-351-7914.
I'm going to tell you how you can get real health insurance for as little as $6 a day. Yes, now you can get affordable health insurance for you and your family immediately, starting at just $6 a day. And coverage is guaranteed regardless of your medical condition. That's right, for about $6 a day, you can have guaranteed health insurance. And there's dental, vision, and prescription coverage too. You owe it to yourself and your family to make this free call right now and learn more. There are no deductibles, no waiting period, no contracts, and coverage is guaranteed. Call National Health right now for your risk-free, guaranteed health insurance quote, starting at just $6 a day. Call now.
800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. 800-797-0921. That's 800-797-0921. Paid for by GoHealth.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you on the lunch break.
All right, y'all, we're back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Keith Hennick, you're not going to like this next story I got to read here. Keith Hennick. Keith, you're not going to like this next story, bro. I'm going to pull up the article. There's a report written by Sam Quinn of CBS Sports that the Brooklyn Nets are interested in hiring away Greg Popovich as their next head coach. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is Sam Quinn of CBS Sports is reporting that the New Jersey Nets are interested in hiring away. Brooklyn Nets are interested in hiring away Greg Popovich from the Spurs as their next head coach. I couldn't see it. Apparently, the Athletic's Sam Charania is reporting that as well. So, there you go. I wouldn't even know how to respond to that. I wouldn't even know how to respond to that. That would be crazy. I'll just leave that there. That would just be crazy. Pop not in San Antonio. I see Pop going from San Antonio to the house. I don't see Pop going from San Antonio to Brooklyn, let alone Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Let's see. Keith Hennick said a whole lot of teams would love to have Pop. He's not going anywhere. Keith Hennick said, I watched the Indianapolis 500 yesterday. No fans and no one has had a positive test for corona. Okay. So race car driving is winning. And thanks, Al. I appreciate it. Glad I got your name right, man. I don't ever want to be, disrespectful. Appreciate you tuned into the show as well, man. But anyway, somebody sent me a text message about something that I had kind of talked about in one of my rants that they wanted my opinion on Kawhi Leonard and why Kawhi switched off of Luka on that last shot. As great as players are, and again, understand this, I've got three superstars in the NBA right now. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, he's hurt, and Kawhi Leonard. I'm talking about in the whole NBA. Not talking about team superstar, not talking about a future superstar, not talking about up-and-coming superstars. And I still have Kawhi Leonard in there. But even superstars make mistakes. And for whatever reason, Kawhi, I don't want none of Luka. I definitely don't think it was that. I think he was just in their normal rotation of their defense. If this happens, then you go here and this person picks him up. Granted, it's on the last play of the game. Now, I wasn't in the huddle, and I'm definitely not coming for Doc Rivers because I love Doc. I don't know if Doc said, Kawhi, you got Luka no matter what. D him up. I don't know if that was what was said. I don't know if he said don't switch if they rotate the ball. So all I can do is say it was more than likely a mistake. Just, my physical reflex, my knowledge of the game, I'm supposed to switch over here instead of sticking with Luka and making it a tougher shot. You cannot deny Kawhi Leonard as a defender. You cannot, don't do that. Don't try to make Kawhi Leonard all of a sudden a bad defender. On that particular case, I don't know what Doc said. I'm definitely not coming at Doc. Doc is an NBA championship coach, future Hall of Fame coach, former player and all that. I defer to his basketball IQ. I don't know if Doc said you got him, stick with him. I would have had Kawhi on Luka from the bathroom back to the bathroom. Like when he comes out the door, you got him. And when the game is over, win, lose, or draw, at least I had my best dude on him. And if he hits that shot over Kawhi, okay, no problem. We lost. If Kawhi does what Kawhi normally does, then we win. So I'm not, again, I'm not bashing Kawhi like some people are doing. Like some people are literally questioning whether or not he was as great as he was in Toronto. And I just got to tell you, they don't win that chip in Toronto without Kawhi Leonard. And that's regular season to the playoffs. Again, I think it was a perfect marriage. I think Kawhi was who Kawhi needed to be for that Toronto team. Kawhi was that dude in San Antonio. A lot of folks forget that Kawhi and the Spurs were giving Golden State the business before Sasha Pachulia slid underneath Kawhi. He got hurt, and I think they ended up, losing a 20-point lead or something like that. So, let's not pull Kawhi off of, the pedestal that he's on as one of the superstars in the league right now. For me, I mean, it happened. Luka could have easily hit that shot, or could have very well hit that shot over Kawhi, just like he hit it over Jackson. So, that's all I got on that. One thing I did want to bring up, though, from the Philadelphia-Boston series, Doris Burke. Let me look up Doris's background real quick. I'm about to run out of time. Doris Burke. Doris Burke. I want her wiki. There it is. Doris Burke is an American sports announcer and analyst for the NBA on ESPN, NBA, and ABC college basketball. She formerly worked as an analyst for the WNBA games on MSG. She worked for the New York Knicks. She's the first female commentator to call a New York Knicks game on radio and television. She played college basketball for Providence, finishing her career as the school's leading in assists, and finishing her career as the school's leading in assists. I said that. Honored for her pioneering work, she was selected to enter the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018 as the Kurt Gowdy Media Award winner. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I love that women are getting more prominent roles in sports. A woman doesn't need to just be a sideline reporter or an investigative reporter or any of that. Doris Burke has the right, the skill, the ability to call games like anybody else. Now, personally, I would rather see, Cheryl Swoops calling games. But to me, there's enough games to be called that Doris can call games, Cheryl can call games, Chinny Agwamike can call games. There's enough to go around. That being said, I'm not saying but. That being said, I was not happy with Doris Burke's commentary during the Boston elimination of the 76ers. She started talking about Brett Brown, the head coach of Philadelphia, more than likely going to be fired sometime today, if not today, tomorrow. And how he's a great coach. And I'm not going to argue with her. I didn't know Brett Brown before he got the Philly job. I think he's had it, 7 years or so? But then she said, if you're going to look at Brett Brown and question his ability and the job he's done with this Philadelphia 76ers team, then you got to look at the entire organization. And without calling his name, she talked about the general manager of the 76ers and the team that he's put together and the contracts that he negotiated. And she's talking about Elton Brand. And I tweeted that Doris Burke was spewing that bull, and I didn't say the negative word. I said, just because a coach does a bad job with the team that he has, it's not always the general manager's fault. And then she went on to say how Brett Brown is highly respected amongst his peers. Well, guess what? That doesn't mean that an organization has to continue to employ him because he's highly respected around other people who do the same job. You can have certain people that don't do the job as well for me as they do for you. That doesn't mean that I keep them doing a bad job for me because a bunch of other people that do the same job like him or her. And I wasn't trying to bring this up, but one of my Twitter followers or friends or whatever we call them said, sounded kind of racist to me. I don't know if she was meaning to be racist, but it didn't slip my view that Brett Brown is a white head coach and Elton Brand is a black general manager. Oh, AJ, here you go. You're making everything about race. No, I'm not. You don't hear that when Brad Stevens was underperforming with the Boston Celtics and Danny Ainge was the one that put that Celtics team and organization together. You didn't even hear that when the Lakers were going through their problems before they got Anthony Davis. You didn't hear that with the head coach that they had and the general manager that they had before Magic came in to the job. All I'm saying is just be fair. Just be fair. Some good head coaches don't do well with the team that they have. For Christ's sake, Bill Belichick got fired from Cleveland. Great head coach. Just didn't do well in Cleveland. Just because Brett Brown didn't do well in Philly doesn't mean it's Elton Brand's fault. And I keep saying words matter. Words matter because everybody, oh, yeah, the guy that she was, calling the game with, oh, you're absolutely right. No, she isn't. No, she isn't. And if you were unbiased, you would have said, well, that's not always the case, Doris. And that's why you cannot have one group or one culture being the only voice on these games, in these studios, on these microphones, behind the desk. You just can't. Because I don't think she intentionally did anything wrong. I don't. I believe that with all my heart. I don't think she intentionally did anything wrong. But because you don't have a different view, it sounded more right than it actually was. Brett Brown might be a great head coach. Just might not be a great head coach for the Philadelphia 76ers. It does not mean that Elton Brand is a bad general manager. And it does not matter that Brett Brown is highly respected amongst his peers. Let him go hang out with his peers. All right, let me go. Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music, the latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his thing every Monday through Friday from 2 to 3. Also, you got Erica Campbell and Griff in the mornings, Get Up Mornings. You have Dr. Sylvia Cole with Call to Inspire. And then after that, your boy will be in with Team Texas Tuesday. Of course, I'll have some more great guests with me tomorrow. Right now, it's the Magic leading the Milwaukee Bucks 66-65, about 7:30 left in the third. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. I really do. And there's nothing you can do about it except wear your mask, wash your hands for 30 seconds or more, sanitize everything around you, and be sensitive to people around you. Give them their 6 feet or more, whether you believe in COVID or not. All right? And when you see that racism, kill it. Not the person, the racism. All right? Y'all take care. Talk to you later. All right, y'all. Man, what a great guest that we had today. Sorry David Grubb couldn't join us. I'm sure he would have if he could. We'll try and have him back on Wednesday. But again, I want to thank my guest, Mr. McGill, for joining us on the show today. And great information. So share this show with other people. I think it'll be a blessing to, especially if you know someone who has a NFL player in the league or someone in the NCAA that might need some help as the landscape changes. So as always, not this, definitely this. Y'all be safe. I love y'all.